Hello and welcome back to another video with Candid Class. This week is a makeup tutorial featuring cream products on the face, an accidental winged eyeliner, and one of my favorite bold lip colors. All products used will be listed in the description box below. But before we get started, I just want to point out I got a haircut. My amazing stylist Amanda took a ton of weight off the back and gave me my edge back. Now I don't have to curl it in an attempt to hide how misshapen it is. I've been trialing this Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation for a couple of weeks now, and I really like it. It's got buildable coverage, but a dewy finish, and normally more higher coverage foundations lean more matte, so this was a unique addition to my collection. It's not lying on the luminous claims though. This is very shiny. It's probably easily a skip for those of you with oily skin, but for my dry skin, it's pretty amazing. I find the best application is to put it on with a dense brush and then to pat it into the skin with my fingers to make sure that there are no brush strokes and that all of the edges are worked out. I wanted to let the foundation set for a little bit, so I moved to my brows with a brow pencil first. I brush the hairs down and then get that crisp line to define the top of the brow before brushing the hairs back up into place and filling in any bald spots. I'm using very short, light strokes to keep the brows from looking blocky or too hard of a contrast to the rest of my face. I'm brushing the product through quite well to make sure there are no clumps. Then I top off with a little bit of brow mascara to hold them in place and to keep them from looking too product heavy. Little brow before and after here. I wanted a little more coverage on my cheeks where my acne scars are lingering, so I went back in now that the foundation has had a chance to set to add another thin layer. Now on to concealer. I wrote a blog post all about how I've been using concealers lately, and this one is my current favorite. It has coverage, but doesn't dry down and get crepey under my eyes. It's a great hybrid for using under eyes and then for using it on blemishes too. I like to use my fingers to blend products into my skin because the heat of my hands helps the product to melt into my face. This concealer also has a great shade range, and I use a color considerably darker than my skin tone to use as a cream bronzer. It's a super convenient and inexpensive way to sculpt with a cream product. This technique will also keep your finishes consistent through your whole face. I like that it's adding a touch more coverage to my cheeks as well. You will consistently see me going back to using that initial foundation brush to blend any of the cream edges. As luminous as this foundation is, I still couldn't resist a bit of cream highlight. I put it on the tops of my cheeks, the top of my nose, my cupid's bow, and blended it in until you couldn't really see the edges, but it just had a glow to it. I love this cream blush. So much so that I've hit pan on it. It's pliable, but it sets, and this color is the exact shade for wearing blush without looking like I'm wearing blush. popped on a bit of eyeshadow primer off screen because boring, and zoomed you in for the eye look now. I start with a light shade to set the primer and make sure my darker eyeshadows won't stick to the wet primer and then not blend evenly. Then I use a medium brown shade to create dimension around the eye. I build up the color slowly and blend the edges until you can't see them anymore before going in and adding more product. This keeps the transitions between colors gradual and smooth. I am using a rather large eyeshadow palette here, but I'm only using 3 shades from it. So chances are very high you already have shades in your collection that you can use for this look. Finally, I went in with a darker warm brown shade just to intensify the outer corners and the lower lash line. My brush has gotten smaller with each shadow color, and this is the smallest brush we're going to use. Get ready for some magic with makeup because the other eye is going to be done in 3, 2, 1. After finishing the eyes, I thought they looked a little bit boring with just matte, so I went in with an eye polish just to add some pizzazz to the inner corner and center of my lid. This is when I was trying to decide whether I wanted to risk ruining the look with winged eyeliner. I decided to go for it, and I tried a new product out here. This is the e.l.f. Expert Liquid Liner in Jet Black. Because this is a brush tip, it made the application super easy because it would bend and move like a paintbrush would, which is easier for me to use than a felt tip liner, which is stiff and then just the tip gets bendy. My favorite way to apply liquid eyeliner is to do the initial line along the lashes and then go in to do the flick. I went in with a Q-tip before the liner had set completely to soften the edges and keep it from being too harsh. I'll skip through the mascara bit here because I just uploaded an in-depth training on my best tips for applying mascara. Here you can see one eye with mascara and one without. It makes a big difference. And that's the eyes done. I set my cream blush with a powder blush to increase the wear time. I find blush is the first thing to fade on my face, but using a cream and then a powder on top makes my makeup last longer while maintaining that skin-like finish. Always going back to my first foundation brush to blend any edges. I like to wait until the last minute before I apply any powder to set my face. A, because I'm not a huge fan of the powdered look, and B, it's harder to touch up makeup that's been powdered. That being said, shine all over can quickly look greasy, so some strategic powdering can make a big difference. I lightly powder under my eyes, over my cheeks where I added extra coverage with that foundation, and around the sides of my nose. Continued with the cream and powder method here with my highlight. This color Flexitarian is not for the faint of heart, and it does tend to show off texture if you have it in that area, but it is a beautiful product. It almost looks like more cream on the face and not a powder. I love the way this fuchsia lipstick makes this look pop. Because it's blue toned, it sets off the blue undertones in my skin in a really beautiful way. But if you lean more warm, you may find a product that has more yellow and less blue in it if you want the same effect. Thanks for watching my very first video makeup tutorial. There will be more to come, so be sure to subscribe for future uploads. I also have plans for more in-depth makeup training videos, skincare videos, and casual chats about life. With new videos every week, I gotta get creative with my ideas. Have a wonderful day and come back next week for more ways to reveal and refine your beauty.